Heartwarming response: how I transformed Christmas after my daughter-in-law's shocking insult. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she braced herself for the annual family gathering. Memories flooded her mind: laughter, warm hugs, the faint smell of cinnamon and pine wafting through the air. Her late husband had adored Christmas. Every moment spent together was a treasure. Now, as a single mother in her 30s, she bustled to prepare that same festive spirit for her 2 children. This year will be special, she whispered to herself. It had to be, but when Jenna, her daughter-in-law, walked in with her sharp tongue, everything turned. Is this really how far you've fallen? Jenna sneered, her disgust palpable. This ragged little thing you call a celebration doesn't even compare to what a real Christmas looks like. Those words pierced deep, more painful than any winter chill. Sarah felt the weight of shame settle in her chest, a tight knot forming. Was all her hard work in vain? The holiday cheer she had poured her heart into felt unjustly mocked, and her spirit faltered. Yet there came a moment, a small whisper of hope, as she caught the eyes of her children bright and innocent. They deserved joy, resilience, and unwavering love. In those still moments, she remembered her husband's guiding light, his belief in the power of community. What would he do? She thought, fighting back tears. On Christmas Eve, she lay awake, surrounded by reminders of the love they shared. The decorations sparkled softly, illuminating her determination. Instead of sinking into despair, she could rewrite her family's story, a story not defined by material wealth, but by the warmth of togetherness. I'll create something special, Sarah decided. She envisioned a neighborhood Christmas festival, an event to rekindle the spirit of giving. Come together. Rediscover what really matters. Her heart raced as she imagined the sounds of laughter, the smells of cocoa and cookies, the joy in her children's eyes as they celebrated with the community. She grabbed her phone and started organizing, posting on social media and knocking on doors, rallying the neighbors to help. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The festival day arrived, and excitement mingled with her nerves. As people gathered, Sarah felt a surge of hope. Smiles lit up the cold winter air. Nearby, Jenna stood, arms crossed, her frown betraying uncertainty. The tuneful voices of carolers filled the space, wrapping around the town like a warm blanket. Each joyous sound called to Sarah's heart, proving that her efforts weren't in vain. As night fell and the festival illuminated the lives around her, Sarah's heart raced at the thought of that tension hanging over her and Jenna. But here, in this moment, Sarah saw the joy radiating from the others. Would Jenna finally acknowledge the beauty in simple giving? Would those scathing words dissolve into laughter instead? As families danced and shared, something began to shift. The joy seeped through the cracks of past judgments. Sarah knew she had to bridge the rift, but the moment hung heavy in the air. Would Jenna see the truth in Sarah's unyielding spirit? Or would the gulf between them grow wider, overshadowed by Jenna's pride? The warmth of the festival wrapped around Sarah like a thick, cozy blanket. Laughter floated on the chilly air, and for a moment, she allowed herself to savor the joy that enveloped them all. Children ran in the snow, their cheeks flushed with excitement, and the sight tugged at her heartstrings. This was what she fought for. But in the back of her mind, Jenna's words echoed, a persistent reminder of the sharp reality she faced. As Sarah moved about the festival, greeting friends and neighbors, she kept stealing glances at Jenna. The younger woman still lingered at the fringes, trying to hide her discomfort behind a wall of indifference. Sarah could sense a change, though. There was something different in the air between them. With a deep breath, Sarah decided to approach Jenna. Her heart raced with uncertainty, but she couldn't let fear guide her actions. After all, Wasn't he the spirit of Christmas about forgiveness, understanding, and connection? She approached her, determination fueling each step. "Jenna," she said, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. "I know things haven't been easy between us." Jenna turned her gaze, eyebrows raised, as if bracing for attack. "What do you want, Sarah?" Taking a moment, Sarah gathered her thoughts. "I want us to start over. This festival, it's meant to bring us together. I believe we can create a family that honors both the past and the present." Jenna rolled her eyes, the defensive posture still hanging on like an unwelcome guest. "You think one festival can fix everything?" "No," Sarah replied, her voice softening. "But it's a start. I want to show you that Christmas is more than just parties and presents. I want us to find a common ground." For a heartbeat, the air was thick with tension. Sarah held her breath, searching Jenna's face for a trace of understanding. Would she meet her halfway, or would she pull back, letting past grievances shadow the moment? To Sarah's surprise, Jenna leaned back slightly, as if weighing her options. "You think I'm materialistic?" she asked, her tone revealing vulnerability beneath the armor of her words. "I think we all get caught up in how things look," Sarah said gently. "I let your comment hurt me, but instead of lashing out, I decided to bring people together. Maybe we can learn from each other. You love beautiful things, and I love people." There was a flicker of something in Jenna's eyes, a hint of interest mingled with frustration. Sarah pressed on, hoping to break the wall down inch by inch. "You've always been so talented with decorations. I'd love your help next year. It could be something we do together." Jenna's lips parted, poised to respond, but nothing came out. It was as though silence stretched between them, filled with unspoken possibilities and choices. Sarah watched as the gears turned in her daughter-in-law's mind, the moment pregnant with potential. Jenna hesitated, her defenses softening just a fraction. Before Sarah could push for more, a child's voice interrupted, breaking the spell. "Mom! Can we go on the carousel?" It was one of her children, eyes wide with delight, pulling at her sleeve. The moment passed, but it hung in the air like a promise. Jenna lingered, looking at Sarah and then at the scene behind her, families laughing, friends embracing. Sarah felt hope bloom anew. Maybe they would find a way forward. As the evening continued, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something fundamental had shifted between them. Would Jenna, with her fierce pride and sharp tongue, find her way to embrace the warmth of community, or would she retreat once more into judgment? The festival carried on, each moment promising more warmth. Sarah's heart swelled with the laughter around her, but at the back of her mind, the question lingered, was this their turning point, or would the shadow of past words loom once more? Only time would tell, and it all hung on the choices they both were yet to make. The carousel twirled merrily, its vibrant colors spinning against the stark white of the snow. Sarah's children squealed as they hopped on, their laughter ringing out like chimes, but Sarah's focus was still on Jenna. She watched her as the younger woman stood awkwardly at the edge of the laughter, as if she didn't quite belong. For a moment, Sarah considered reaching out again, but something held her back. Did she really want to push too hard? Instead, she turned to the carousel, allowing the bustle of the festival to wash over her. Maybe Jenna needed space to come to terms with everything. But even as she thought that, the questions danced in her mind. What if Jenna never found her way into their family? What if the gap between them only widened? "Can we go again, Mommy?" One of her little ones tugged at her hand, bright eyes filled with eagerness. Sarah couldn't help but smile at such innocent joy. "Of course," she chirped, trying to push away the lingering heaviness. Their joy was contagious, and she wanted to hold on to it, even if she felt something fragile was stirring just beneath the surface of her own heart. As the carousel spun, Sarah caught sight of Jenna again. This time, Jenna's arms were crossed tightly against her chest, her posture defensive. It was as though she was a spectator, observing something beautiful yet unattainable. With a deep breath, Sarah collected her courage and approached, feeling the warmth of the crowd pulling her forward. "Hey," Sarah said, lightly brushing against the chill of the air that surrounded them. "Come join us." Jenna looked up, surprise flashing across her face. "Why?" "Because family is meant to be together," Sarah replied, her voice steady and sincere. "Let us enjoy this moment." "Not everyone feels like family," Jenna muttered, and Sarah winced at the bitterness in her tone. It was a jagged reminder of their past, but Sarah refused to let it dim her hope. "Maybe we can change that," Sarah offered. "Have I ever told you how beautifully you decorate? Your ideas, every event I've seen you orchestrate has been so vibrant. It's like you bring a little magic wherever you go." For a split second, Jenna seemed taken aback. As if Sarah's words had pierced through the defenses she had built up, there was a flicker of something, maybe gratitude or surprise. "I don't know." Jenna began, her voice trailing off, caught between uncertainty and a glimmer of vulnerability. "You do know," Sarah insisted gently, moving closer to bridge the distance. "I truly believe we can build something together. You bring the flair, and I'll bring the people. We can create a celebration everyone will remember." The carousel came to a halt, and Sarah's children jumped off, their laughter ringing around them. They climbed up to Sarah, their faces bright and hopeful. Sarah glanced at them, then back to Jenna, who was still holding her ground, her fierce eyes softening just slightly. "Come on, Jenna. Just give it a chance," Sarah added, her heart racing as she held her breath. "Let us stroll through the festival together. Just for tonight." The moment hung in the air, heavy with possibility. Jenna remained quiet, her expression contemplative. Would she refuse, retreating to her self-imposed barriers? As Sarah waited, her pulse quickened. The joy around her felt more pressing now. The children, the lights, the laughter, all reminders of the connection Sarah so desperately wanted to build. Would Jenna step out from the shadows? A part of Sarah feared that this was at the moment everything could either change or shatter once more. What if this was the only opportunity? What if she dethroned herself too far into hope? Jenna finally took a slow breath, her expression flickering with uncertainty as she hesitated on the brink of choice. Jenna started, then paused again, seemingly weighing the risk, and just like that, they both stood on that precipice, teetering between the past and this glimmering moment of potential. Whatever came next could alter everything. Would Jenna step forward or retreat into the shadows again? The festival's laughter surrounded them, but this moment of silence hung in the air, and Sarah felt that whatever happened next could redefine their relationship forever. Jenna's breath trembled in the cold air, an uncertain but steady rhythm against the cacophony of giggles and merry chatter around them. Sarah watched as conflict played across her face. She wasn't sure if she should fill the silence or let it linger, hoping Jenna would break it herself. Then, like the first crack of morning light breaking through a dark sky, Jenna unfolded her arms. "Okay," she said at last, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'll join you." The words ignited a spark of hope in Sarah's heart. She extended her hand, and Jenna took it cautiously, as if it was a fragile thing. The moment their fingers intertwined, a wave of warmth rippled between them, defying the bitter winter chill. They walked together toward the festival, the children darting ahead, their laughter intertwining with the distant sound of holiday music. As they meandered through the rows of colorful booths, Sarah felt the tension in Jenna's shoulders ease just a little. The smell of roasted chestnuts filled the air, mingling with the scent of pine from nearby Christmas trees. Sarah pointed out the various decorations, urging Jenna to contribute her thoughts. "What do you think of that?" she asked, gesturing to a booth adorned with twinkling lights. "It's cute," Jenna replied, glancing at the decor but not quite engaging. Still, it was a start. Maybe they could find common ground. They reached a stall selling handmade ornaments. Jenna squinted, her keen eye taking in the craftsmanship. "These are lovely," she remarked softly, her tone a shade warmer. A genuine smile flickered across her face, and it felt like the first brush of spring. "Do you still make ornaments?" Sarah asked, remembering bits of Jenna's past that she had once yearned to know more about. Sometimes, Jenna admitted, looking thoughtful. It feels nice to create things that bring people together. This was at the bridge Sarah hoped for. Exactly, she said, excitement bubbling in her voice. Wouldn't it be fantastic to host an ornament-making night? Everyone could bring a friend, and maybe bring their kids too. A faint smile lingered on Jenna's lips, something akin to a spark igniting. I haven't done that in years, she hesitated. Let us change years to tomorrow, Sarah nudged playfully, hoping to stoke the fire of enthusiasm. As they walked, they reached a point where the music swelled, and the crowd's laughter seemed to escalate. Sarah's children begged for hot cocoa, and Sarah felt a surge of joy as they bounced about, their excitement palpable. Jenna's eyes followed the children, a flicker of longing crossing her face. I never really had that kind of family, she confessed quietly. Even now, her confident facade cracked like thin ice. Especially not during the holidays. Sarah slowed, the weight of Jenna's words pressing down. It can be hard, can't it? She offered, her heart aching. But that's why we're here, to create our own memories. Jenna nodded slowly, her gaze averted, lost in thought. The hope that had infused in Sarah dimmed slightly, knowing Jenna's past cast long shadows over her present. Want to take a break? Sarah suggested. We can sip hot cocoa and sit by the fire. Jenna hesitated but nodded, following Sarah to a nearby seating area with rustic benches encircling a cozy fire pit. The warmth instantly enveloped them, and Sarah felt the tension in Jenna begin to thaw. As they settled in, the flickering flames illuminated the complexity of Jenna's expression. Can I ask you something? Jenna began, her voice hollow yet curious. Why do you care so much? I'm not worth all this effort. A moment hung thick between them, the flickering flames mirroring the uncertainty in Sarah's chest. This was a crucial moment, a time for honesty. Because I believe everyone deserves to feel they belong, Sarah replied, her heart pounding with sincerity. And, for me, family is worth fighting for even when it's hard. Jenna looked at her, eyes wide with something resembling admiration or disbelief. You really think that? Absolutely, Sarah insisted. Then what if you're wrong? Jenna shot back, fear tainting her voice. That's a risk I'm willing to take, Sarah replied, holding Jenna's gaze steady. And suddenly, it felt like they were standing at the edge of a new beginning, with the warmth of the fire blazing around them. What if this night could change everything for them? Jenna's expression twisted in contemplation, the firelight casting different shadows on her face as hope melded with fear. What was she truly willing to risk in this fragile moment? The questions hung in the air like the scent of smoke, a tangible tension waiting to erupt. Would Jenna choose to embrace this chance or walk away again, leaving them caught in a simmering uncertainty? Jenna stared into the flames, her mind racing. What if Sarah's belief was right? What if she could belong, even in a world that had always felt closed off to her? Tears threatened to build in her eyes, the flames flicker mirroring her heart's chaotic dance. I don't know if I can trust that, she finally confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. Trust is built, Jenna, Sarah said softly. One step at a time. You're already here. That means something. The warmth of the fire felt comforting, yet Jenna's heart remained heavy. She could think of all the times hope had flickered and dimmed, how she'd kept everyone at a distance, afraid of being let down. What if I'm not good at making ornaments anymore? She said, feeling vulnerable. What if everyone sees me and they see that I don't fit in? Then they'll see you trying, Sarah answered, her tone encouraging, her own hand resting gently on Jenna's. And that's the first step. You start small, just a single ornament. Jenna took a breath, letting it out slowly. But what if my trying is not enough? Maybe it is, Sarah replied, her gaze unwavering. Or maybe it's just the beginning of something. You can take ownership of it, and that creates your strength. The joy and excitement that twinkled in Sarah's eyes was infectious, and for the first time, Jenna felt the weight lift. She remembered a time when she loved creating, when every project was filled with excitement. I did like that, she admitted shyly, but it's been years. I've been too scared to. Sarah squeezed her hand gently, urging her to continue. I've been too scared to let anyone in, Jenna finished, her voice tinged with regret. Maybe it's time for a change, Sarah encouraged, the fire crackling behind them. Imagine the laughter as people create their own ornaments. It's not about perfection, it's about connection. The thought washed over Jenna like a gentle wave. Could creating something be a way to connect with others? Could she really share that part of herself again? A child's laughter from across the fire pit interrupted her thoughts. Jenna looked up and saw Sarah's kids, belly laughing as they tossed marshmallows at each other. A small smile broke across her lips, mingling with the warmth pooling in her heart. Okay, Jenna found herself saying, surprising even herself. Let us plan it. An ornament night for everyone. I can help. For the first time, fear didn't drown out her voice. It walked alongside her, reminding her of the risk, but also of the joy of creating that risk. She could see it now, a small glow of inspiration igniting hope, not just for her, but for Sarah's family too. As they leaned into the warmth of the fire, Sarah beamed back at her. Yes. We'll spread the word, and just think, everyone creating together. It'll be beautiful. I hope so, Jenna mused quietly, a smile creeping across her face as she dared to envision it all. The laughter, the crafts, the shared stories, the atmosphere felt charged, electric with anticipation, and a dawning realization struck Jenna's heart. This was her chance to change, to be a part of something bigger than herself. A part of this family spirit, but just then, through the merriment, a shadow flickered across the crowd. Someone approached, face slightly familiar yet wrapped in unease. Jenna. The voice rang out, dripping with an emotion she hadn't fully prepared for. Her heart raced. Would this moment of budding hope be shattered by what was about to unfold? Jenna turned slowly, her body tensing as the name echoed in her mind. It was Charlie, her childhood friend and the last person Jenna expected to see tonight. His presence felt like a thunderclap amidst the joy of the fire. The glow flickered over his face, illuminating the uncertainty etched across his features. Charlie, she managed to say, though her voice was shaky. Memories flooded in times of laughter during summer days and late-night talks over ice cream. But those sweet memories were laced with the bitterness of how their friendship had faded, leaving only a haunting silence in its wake. I didn't think you'd come, Charlie said, taking a tentative step closer. Jenna swallowed hard. I needed to, she replied, knowing that even as she spoke, emotions tangled together like vines. Charlie's eyes drifted to the fire, then back to Jenna. I heard about the ornament night. Just thought, maybe it was time to reconnect. His intention seemed genuine, but the word sent a knot to her stomach. Jenna felt herself retreating, caution flooding her thoughts. The walls she had built around her heart slammed back into place as she considered the years of silence, the missed moments, the unspoken apologies. What do you want, Charlie? Jenna blurted, the sharpness of her tone startling even herself. His shoulders sagged. I want to apologize, Jenna. For everything. I didn't mean to drift away, and I know my absence hurt you. For a fleeting moment, Jenna was taken aback. The tangible warmth from the fire now contrasted starkly with the chill of unresolved feelings swirling between them. Could she accept this apology? Was it fair to let him back in, just as she was starting to allow herself to feel again? The laughter of Sarah's kids rang out, breaking the heavy tension that hung in the air. Jenna clenched her fists. It's not just about you. I've struggled too. I know, Charlie replied, his sincerity evident. I wanted to be there for you, but I didn't know how. I thought you would be better without me. Better without you? Jenna echoed, her voice rising. The flames crackled as she felt a flood of emotions crashing within her. You left when I needed you most, when everything crumbled. The truth is, Charlie's voice softened. I was scared, Jenna. I didn't know how to handle your pain, so I just ran away. Jenna felt the tears prick at her eyes. The warmth of the fire contrasted sharply with the frost around her heart. It's not that easy. Years I've built walls. Now you show up and expect everything to change. Maybe not everything, he said quietly. But I'm here. I want to help however I can. Starting here tonight. Let this be a step. Jenna hesitated, the flicker of hope wrestling against her instincts. Okay, maybe it wasn't fair to label him purely by the past. But could she really allow him back into her life? As she was about to respond, the children scampered over with marshmallow-covered faces, giggling and tugging at Sarah. Jenna watched a moment, the innocence and joy woven through this gathering pulling her back to the reason she was here in the first place. Maybe she could take a step, perhaps even allow herself to forgive. But another thought clawed at her. Do you think the others would be okay with you joining us? She asked, making her decision. Charlie looked uncertain for a moment, then nodded, determination settling in his gaze. But deep inside, Jenna felt a question echo. Was this truly the beginning of healing, or was she merely dancing on the edge of another heartbreak? As the shadows of the flames danced, the answer felt just out of reach, teasing the potential of what could be. Jenna took a deep breath, her heart racing as she watched Charlie brace himself for what was about to unfold. The glow of the fire painted him in a soft light, heightening the urgency of the moment. She felt a part of herself hesitating at the edge of vulnerability, while another part, longing for connection, urged her forward. Okay, she said, her voice steadier than before. Let us give this a shot. Charlie's expression shifted from apprehension to relief, and for an instant, Jenna thought she saw that familiar spark of excitement in his eyes, reminiscent of their carefree childhood days. The children came bounding back, marshmallows in hand, their laughter a buoyant reminder of joy that pulled her away from her swirling thoughts. Jenna found herself slipping into the warmth of the scene as the group settled around the fire. Charlie took a seat across from her, a tentative smile breaking across his lips. The conversations flowed like the warm cocoa being poured nearby. Sarah was animated, recounting the lighter moments of family gatherings, while Jenna felt the distance between her and Charlie slowly start to close. Each chuckle from the kids, each lively exchange with their friends chipped away at those insurmountable walls she had built. But amidst the laughter and cheerful chatter, Jenna's heart still thudded with uncertainty. She wasn't just thinking about herself, she thought of the family aligned around the fire. Could they truly accept this unexpected reunion? As the evening wore on, Charlie shared stories of his life since they last spoke, the ups and downs that had shaped him into the man he was now. I've missed this, he admitted, his gaze locking onto hers with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine. I missed us. Jenna felt warmth spreading through her chest. Her childhood memories tugged at her heart with a strange kind of sweetness, but doubts lingered. What if he left again? What if he was just passing through, trying to find a way to ameliorate his guilt? Just then, an ember popped from the fire, breaking the heavy air between them as it sailed upward, dissipating into the star-filled sky. Jenna watched it vanish, and in that moment, a flicker of hope ignited within her. Perhaps they weren't defined by what had happened in the past, but could write a different story moving forward. Charlie, she began, her heart racing, I want you to know that it'll take time for me to trust again. I don't want to keep dancing around the past like it doesn't exist. I understand, he replied, sincerity painting his voice. And I'm willing to wait, Jenna. I don't expect everything to be fixed right away. I just want the chance. Her chest tightened as his words sank in. Could she really let him in again? It felt both frightening and liberating. As the fire crackled, Jenna felt a surge of resolve. Maybe this was a step toward healing, something to build upon together. As if sensing her vulnerability, Charlie held her gaze, and Jenna caught a glimmer of hope beneath his uncertainty. Suddenly, a child shouted, "Look! A shooting star!" The group looked up just in time to see a bright streak cross the night sky, laughter erupting around it. Jenna wished with all her heart, her eyes glued to the sky. She wanted a spark of joy to envelop this moment, to transform it into something more than just an awkward reunion. She felt Charlie's warmth near her, a reminder that sometimes, the most beautiful changes begin with a simple wish. But as the light faded, she faced a new inner conflict. Was she ready to leap into this renewed connection, or would the past keep her anchored to fear? Little did Jenna know, the next day would present a test, a revelation that would challenge her choice to embrace Charlie back into her life. The morning sun peeked through the curtains, casting a warm glow in Jenna's kitchen. She stirred her coffee absent-mindedly, her mind still swirling with the emotions from the previous night. Charlie's words echoed in her mind. "I missed us." As she took a sip, a sudden thought hit her. What if he really meant it? Her heart raced, caught between hope and fear. The clock ticked slowly, almost mocking her, as she mentally prepared for the day ahead. They had agreed to help furnish the children's annual Christmas party later that afternoon. Maybe this was a chance to immerse herself in the new beginning she was so desperately seeking. Jenna rushed to get ready, her mind flitting between picking the right shirt and the conversation they had shared. As she dressed, her fingers lingered on the old sweater she had picked for the occasion. It felt like a blanket of memories, comforting yet revealing. The children arrived early, clambering into the living room with ribbons and scotch tape. Jenna's heart warmed at their enthusiasm. She grinned as Sarah guided the little ones in crafting handmade decorations, laughter bubbling up and filling the room. "Mrs. Allen, look at my ornament!" Little Lucy exclaimed, holding a glitter-covered piece of cardstock that shimmered under the sunlight. "It's beautiful, sweetheart." Jenna beamed back, her heart swelling with pride. The innocence of their creations reminded her of simpler times with Charlie. Just then, he stepped through the door, a bag of supplies slung over his shoulder. His presence momentarily froze the air around her. He caught her eye and smiled, a genuine warmth that made her pulse quicken. "Ready to get this party started?" he asked, stepping into the living room, seamless in the chaos. "Absolutely," she replied, her voice steadier than she felt. They began working side by side. The effort felt natural, as if nothing had changed between them. She watched him lean down to help the kids, his laughter mingling with theirs. It brought back memories of them making snowmen in the nearby park, vibrant moments now interwoven with longing. But the shadow of their past hung heavily over her. Just as the decorations began to take shape, Jenna felt another pang of doubt creep in. What if this was a temporary feel-good moment that would dissolve into nothingness once the glow of the holiday faded? Her internal monologue was cut short when Charlie turned to her, fingers stained with glue. "Hey," he said, his tone soft. "Do you think we're ready for the next step?" "What do you mean?" she asked, her breath hitching in her throat. "I'm talking about us, Jenna. This, whatever this is. Us working together, being around each other. I want to be more than just a moment in your life again." His words sent a thrill through her, igniting her heart. But before she could respond, the door swung open, and voices filled the air. Guests began to arrive, their cheerful greetings shattering the delicate moment. Jenna felt her resolve waver. She didn't want to ruin the atmosphere with her fears. Not here, not now. As she smiled at the children and their laughter, she thought deep down that maybe this was her opportunity to embrace the unknown. Yet just as she thought she might take the leap, a familiar figure stepped inside, the one person she hoped wouldn't show up today. Jenna's breath caught in her throat. It was Charlie's ex, Michelle, the woman who had added chaos to their already complicated past. "Charlie!" she called, her voice dripping with feigned sweetness. Jenna felt a possessive instinct flare up inside her. Everything in Jenna shifted. Would this be the moment that would break her fragile hope, or would it serve as a catalyst for her actual choice to trust again? With a glance at Charlie's startled expression, Jenna realized she was standing at yet another crossroads. Would she defend what they had started to build, or would she retreat into the shadows of her fears? As she took a step forward, she felt a surge of determination wash over her. After all, sometimes the biggest risks lead to the greatest rewards. But would she have the courage to trust that instinct? Jenna squared her shoulders and forced a smile, a mask of confidence hiding the tumult in her gut. She felt her heartbeat pulsing in her ears as she focused intently on Charlie, whose expression shifted from surprise to uncertainty. He caught her eye again, and she could see a flicker of worry cross his face as he glanced back at Michelle. "Hey!" Charlie replied, but his voice lacked the enthusiasm it usually carried. The children's laughter had oddly quieted, and Jenna could feel their curious gazes shift between the three adults now holding the space. "Michelle," Jenna greeted, unable to mask the tightness in her voice. "What a surprise. I thought you were busy." "Oh, you know how it is around the holidays," Michelle replied, her tone lightly dismissive. "I can't resist checking on the fun when Charlie's involved. Besides, looks like you could use an extra hand." Jenna's heart sank, but she fought to maintain control. This was supposed to be a joyful day, no time for nostalgia or petty rivalries. The moment hung heavily in the air as they all stared at one another. The kids, sensing the tension, began to chatter quietly, but Jenna noticed some of them looking anxiously from Michelle to Charlie, then back at her. She felt the need to lighten the mood and reminded herself what was truly important: the children. "Why don't we get everyone started on some carols?" she suggested, clapping her hands together with forced cheer. "Lou and Sarah, I think you two would be wonderful leads." Sarah's eyes lit up. "Ooh, can we sing Jingle Bells first?" "Absolutely," Jenna replied, grateful for the distraction. She turned, her face warm with enthusiasm, hoping to shift attention away from the uncomfortable exchange. As the kids gathered joyfully, Jenna caught Charlie watching her with admiration in his eyes. It filled her with warmth amidst the chaos. But she couldn't shake the feeling of Michelle's presence behind them, her gaze lingering on Charlie, analyzing, calculating. Jenna knew it was necessary to stand strong. "Let us all gather around the Christmas tree," she called, heart racing, leading the way. "It's time to get festive." As the children gathered around the tree, the air buzzed with sweet anticipation. They began to sing, voices high and bright, painting over the tension like colored lights twinkling against the darkness. Jenna caught Charlie's eye, and they both smiled at the children's infectious joy. But even as the carols enveloped them, Jenna felt Michelle's stony presence in the background, a heavy weight that twisted her stomach tight. She steeled herself, remembering Charlie's sincere words. They weren't mere moments but the potential for something real. When the last note faded, Michelle clapped, her smile too wide and hollow. "That was adorable, just like old times." Jenna clenched her fists, feeling her throat tighten. "Yes, it is nice," she replied, her voice steady despite the unease within. As the children buzzed with excitement, Jenna decided it was best to keep her focus on the festivities. "Let us move on to the craft table. We've got a lot more decorating to do." Charlie stepped close, brushing her arm. "You did great," he whispered. But the reassurance felt muted beside the tension from Michelle, who now eyed them with a calculative gaze. Just when Jenna thought she could regain control of the day, the door swung open again, and another unwelcome face peeked in: their old friend, Derek, who had navigated out of a messy breakup not so long ago and once had eyes for Michelle. "Hey everyone. I brought cookies," he announced, but Jenna noticed the strained laughter that followed. What was meant to be a gathering of joy was starting to feel like a tangled web of unresolved emotions. As the afternoon wore on with laughter and chaotic crafts, Jenna's heart battled between hope and anxiety. Could they truly reclaim the spark they once had amidst the shadows of lingering doubts and past relationships? But deep down, Jenna felt the stirring of something new, a determination to forge ahead, no matter the difficulties. Could she confront her fears and trust the possibilities? With determination igniting within her, she found herself moving closer to Charlie, ready to embrace whatever came next. But it was the moment she felt his hand squeeze hers that the chaos erupted anew when Michelle stepped forward, her eyes flashing with something Jenna couldn't quite place. "Charlie, can we talk?" She motioned for him to follow, but before Jenna could intercept, he looked back, torn between the past and the present. Suddenly the air shifted, and Jenna's heart raced again. What would Charlie decide? Would he choose to walk away or step firmly into the future that was waiting, just for him? The weight of the moment hung heavily over the gathering, and Jenna's heart ached with uncertainty. Charlie glanced back at her, those familiar eyes reflecting a love she feared wouldn't withstand the test of Michelle's sudden presence. Jenna couldn't shake the feeling that this was a defining moment, not just for her but for their budding relationship. "Just a minute," he said hesitantly, stepping back from her side. Jenna felt the space between them widen, as if an invisible gap had opened up, shifting her hopes aside. The children were still engaged in their crafts, but the laughter felt muffled as Jenna's mind spiraled into doubt. She watched Charlie follow Michelle to a quieter corner, their hushed conversation flickering like the candles on the table. Anxiety coiled around her chest. "Hey, let us finish these ornaments." Lou, one of the kids, chimed cheerfully, trying to bring Jenna back to the festivities. But her heart wasn't in it anymore. She felt the fragile strands of the hope she had woven through the day starting to unravel. "Yeah, let us do that," she forced out, trying to smile, but the light was dimming. As she turned to the table, she caught a glimpse of Michelle, whose expression was inscrutable, framed in the chaos of the party. What were they discussing? Did Charlie see the allure of the past in Michelle's words? "Do you think he'll come back?" one of the children asked, blinking up at her with wide eyes. Jenna's smile faded as uncertainty washed over her. "I hope so," she said, her voice shaky. "But let's focus on decorating. Look at how great yours is coming along." She plastered encouragement onto her face while her thoughts waged war inside. The clinking of the decorations filled the room, yet the rising tension with Charlie weighed like a shroud over the careful setup she had built. Just then, Charlie reappeared, cheeks flushed with uncertainty. He hesitated, inching closer to Jenna, who desperately searched his face for a sign of what had just unfolded. Everything okay?" she asked, trying to sound casual, but the anxious tremor in her voice gave her away. He started, biting his lip. "I told Michelle it's not how things were. I want to be here, with you, not there." A flicker of relief spread across Jenna's chest at his words, solid, reassuring, but as quickly as it sparked, doubt pushed in. But she interjected, feeling a deep breath catch in her throat. "She is still here, Charlie. I can't keep wondering if your past will follow us. I'm choosing you," he insisted, stepping closer, his determination palpable. "I know this is hard, trust me, I feel it too. But I believe in this in us." Jenna's heart raced, wrestling with fear and hope all at once. What if she pulls you back? What if I can't compete with the history you two share? "Jenna, you don't have to compete. Our past is just that history," he said firmly, his gaze locked onto hers. "I want to create a future, not dwell on what could be been. You mean so much to me. I didn't realize that until I was standing in that other room." His sincerity cut through her fears like a beacon of light. Could she dare to believe in this? Here, amidst the chaos and noise, could they truly carve out something new? "Let us not let her ruin this," Jenna finally said, her voice gaining strength. "I want to be part of your life. Together, we can redefine what family means to us." As soon as the words left her lips, the weight that hovered over her lightened. The energy shifted, she saw hope reflected in Charlie's eyes, mingling with the laughter of the children around them. "I love that," he replied, taking her hand. The warmth of his grasp sent a spark of confidence firing back through her veins. "Hey, Jenna!" Lou called out again, this time with excitement, "Can we put the ornaments on the tree?" "Absolutely," Jenna replied, a surge of joy breaking through the fog of anxiety. "Let us finish decorating together." The children burst into activity, laughing and arguing over where to place their creations. As they placed each ornament on the tree, Jenna let the spirit of the season envelop her. Making space for love and laughter again. The ache of Michelle's temporary shadow faded with every smile from her children, every close connection growing between her and Charlie. At that moment, Jenna understood that family is not just about those bound by blood but those woven together by choice, understanding, and unconditional love. She smiled back at Charlie, her anchor, her choice, and felt hope blossom in her heart. And the soft glow of the fading afternoon light, amidst laughter and warmth, Jenna took a deep breath, reminding herself with a smile that she was ready to embrace this journey forward. They were reshaping something beautiful here, and she was ready for all the joy ahead. As the sun dipped lower, illuminating the evening sky, Jenna whispered to Charlie, "Let us make every moment count." His answering smile was a promise, a true commitment to the new chapter of their lives, filled with hope, laughter, and a family forged together. Only together would they build that future. And with that uplifting feeling saturating the room, Jenna took Charlie's hand and led him back into the heart of the celebration, ready to face whatever the future held with courage and love. Now it's your turn to embrace this love and understanding. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment below your reactions and feelings about the ending. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation.